Sales growth of electric vehicles has slowed dramatically this year.
EV green at the moment and make money, but I just see it as such a big risk. And other dealers have been saying the same thing to me, and I have seen dealers get stung with big battery bills like that.
Ever wonder why electric cars are piling up on dealership lots? Despite the hypes, EVs aren't selling as expected. Find out the surprising truth about why electric cars aren't selling. Remember when EVs were the hottest new thing? Everyone was excited about their potential to save the planet and save on gas. Companies like Tesla, Ford, and Chevrolet jumped into the EV market, launching new models left and right. But lately, something strange has happened. Many of these new EVs are sitting unsold on dealership lots. At first, EV sales were very high. More people were interested in environmentally friendly options, and the new technology was exciting. Plus, the idea of not having to pay for gas was a huge selling point. Companies invested heavily in EV technology, and it looked like they were here to stay. Fast forward to now, and things aren't looking as good. Recent reports suggest that EV sales have slowed down significantly. But why? Let's break it down. One big reason is the cost. EVs, especially the newer models, can be pretty expensive. While prices have gone down over the years, they are still higher than many traditional gas-powered cars. For many people, it's tough to spend a lot of money at first, even if they'll save on fuel later. While prices are coming down, many EVs are still more expensive than their gasoline-powered counterparts. The average price of a new EV in mid-2023 was around $53,000, compared to about $48,000 for a new gas-powered car. Even with the potential savings on fuel and maintenance, this higher upfront cost can be a hurdle for many buyers. Another issue is range anxiety, the fear that your EV will run out of battery before you reach your destination. Although newer EVs boast longer ranges, many people still worry about finding charging stations, especially on long trips. Unlike gas stations, which are everywhere, EV charging infrastructure is still developing. Then there comes the issue of battery life and disposal. EV batteries are expensive to replace, and there's concern about the environmental impact of mining the materials needed for the batteries. Now, the question arises of what happens to the batteries once they're no longer usable, and does it have any proper answer? These environmental concerns have made some people hesitant. Interestingly, the competition has also played a role. With more companies making electric cars now, it can be hard to choose from so many options. Each brand promises the best technology and features, making it hard for consumers to decide. Additionally, the rapid pace of innovation means that today's top model can feel outdated in just a year or two. Government policies have had both positive and negative effects on EVs. On one hand, subsidies and tax incentives have helped boost sales. On the other hand, these incentives are often temporary and vary by region. When they expire or are reduced, it can lead to a drop in sales. Plus, some countries have inconsistent policies regarding EV support, creating uncertainty for consumers. The pandemic has also made an impact. With economic uncertainties, many people are hesitant to make big purchases, including cars. While some industries have bounced back, the innovative industries have faced challenges, and EVs are no exception. Consumers' preferences play a big role too. Many people are still attached to their traditional cars and are hesitant to switch to something completely different. This is particularly the case in areas where people are very attached to their cars, and the sound and feel of a gas engine are part of the driving experience. Then there's the issue of charging. EVs need to be charged regularly, and while the network of charging stations is growing, it's still not as widespread or convenient as gas stations. For people living in apartments or without easy access to home charging, this can be a major problem. Long road trips require careful planning to find charging points, adding to the inconvenience. The current economic situation doesn't help either. With inflation and economic uncertainties, people are more cautious about big purchases. Buying a new car, especially an EV, seems risky to many, and leaving them to hold off until the financial outlook improves. Finally, the rapid pace of technological advancement means today's new EV could feel outdated in just a few years. This makes some buyers reluctant to invest in a technology that a newer, better model might soon surpass. Since the cost of new electric cars is very high, most of us will be looking for used EVs. But there are also many problems. So, what about the used EV dilemma? Now, let's change our focus on used EVs. While buying used is usually a good way to save money, it comes with its own set of challenges when it comes to EVs. The biggest issue with used EVs is battery degradation. Over time, an EV's battery loses its ability to hold a full charge, reducing the vehicle's range. This degradation depends on how the previous owner used and maintained the car. If the battery needs replacing, it can be very costly, sometimes almost as much as the car itself. Lack of warranty is another major concern. New EVs comes with warranties that cover the battery and other components. But when you buy a used EV, those warranties might expire or close to expiring. If there is no warranty, you'll have to pay for any costly repairs such as replacing the battery. Used EVs may also lack the latest technology and features found in newer models. This can make them feel outdated and less desirable. Plus, as new charging standards and infrastructure develop, older EVs might not be compatible, making charging even more inconvenient. Safety is another big issue. Used EVs might have been involved in accidents that damage the battery or other components. Even if they've been repaired, there's always a risk that hidden damage could lead to problems down the road. Some experts warn that these unseen issues could make the used EVs more dangerous than their newer counterparts. Lastly, resale value can be unpredictable. As the new EV market changes, the prices of older models can go up and down a lot. This uncertainty can make buying a used EV feel like a gamble, as you might not be able to sell it for a reasonable price later on. Despite facing these difficulties, the market isn't doomed. It's experiencing growing pains. A few things you should keep in mind while purchasing a used EV. Battery technology is continually improving, leading to a longer range and better longevity, as these advancements are made into newer models. The problems affecting the EVs will become less important over time. Charging infrastructure is also expanding. Governments and private companies are investing heavily in charging networks, which will make owning and operating an EV more convenient. As it becomes easier to charge EVs, both new and used models will become more appealing. Prices for new EVs are expected to come down as production scales up and technology becomes cheaper. Additionally, more affordable models are entering the market, making EVs accessible to a broader audience. As people become more familiar with EVs and their benefits, the hesitation will decrease. Education about proper battery care and maintenance can also help reduce fears about battery degradation and the costs associated with it. Have you ever heard about all the electric vehicles sitting unsold on dealers' lots? It's pretty surprising. As of mid-2023, there were around 92,000 unsold EVs in the US, and this number keeps growing. This is more than 3 times the number of the same period in 2022. In fact, EVs now make up roughly 7% of all unsold vehicles on dealers' lot. That might not sound like much, but it's a big jump from the previous year when EVs were only 2% of the unsold inventory. One of the main reasons for this surplus is the increasing number of EV models hitting the market. Automakers are racing to launch new EVs, with more than 30 different models available today compared to the fewer than 20 just a year ago. This rapid expansion means that dealers have more options in their lots. But it also means that some models aren't selling as quickly as expected. Interestingly, some regions are seeing more unsold EVs than others. In areas with more established charging infrastructure like California, electric vehicles tend to sell faster. However, in places where charging stations are less common and dealers might find it more difficult to sell their EVs. The variety of unsold EVs is also noteworthy. While some high-end models like the Tesla Model S and the Lucid Air are sitting unsold, plenty of more affordable options like the Chevrolet Bolt or the Nissan Leaf are also facing the same situation. This suggests that the issue isn't just about the price or the brand, but a broader market challenge. So, what does this mean for the future of EVs? For one, we'll likely see some price adjustments. Automakers might offer more incentives or lower prices to move their inventory. We're already seeing some of this, with companies like Ford and GM cutting prices in their EVs. Additionally, dealers are getting more creative with their marketing. Some are offering special deals or financial options for buyers. Others are investing in educating their sales staff and customers about the benefits of EVs, hoping that a little knowledge will go a long way in boosting sales. The market crash might only be a small setback. What's your opinion on this setback? Comment your thoughts on this, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.